Using the word fun when talking about Escape from Tarkov is something that you honestly won't hear quite often.
Well, that's fun.
Howdy, it's Meowdy. Let's talk about Escape from Tarkov. Particularly, I want to talk about how it's magically its biggest selling point to a lot of people is also a big reason that a lot of people just will not try it.
You can't make me. You can't!
Escape from Tarkov, if you didn't know, somehow magically, is basically the grandfather of extraction shooters. Kind of like the point like where H1Z1 or PUBG, or even if you go back to Minecraft Survival Games, was the grandfather of the Battle Royale genre. Tarkov kind of fits that part with extraction shooters. Without Tarkov, we don't have Dark and Darker, we didn't have the DMZ mode in Call of Duty, we didn't have the cycle. Tarkov is notoriously one of the most hardcore games you can play. Just fundamentally at its core, it does not like you. Tarkov does not want you to enjoy your time, and it does it so well. From the complicated, like, minute gunplay to the energy management, the food management, it's an experience. That ironically, when I sit here and tell you that using the word fun, it sounds weird because it is fun. But it's not the have laughs, drop as a squad in like Warzone or Fortnite fun that most shooting games are used to, or the competitive 5v5 Counter-Strike Valorant type of gameplay. It is a beast of its own. It wants to eat you alive, man.
I'm gonna eat you! I'm bigger than you! I'm higher in the food chain! Get in my belly!
But is that okay? Like, is that in the long haul? Is that gonna be okay? Is having this game that just beats you down? It's cool right now, but we don't have another extraction shooter. The closest thing we have right now is Dark and Darker, and that's a whole different game style. How long can just being the toxic relationship you keep going back to gonna last? It's lasted quite a while. If I remember correctly, I think it originally came out in early access in 2017? So it's been trucking along for a minute.
Hey! Well, I have you paused right now. Speaking of doing something, you see how that says subscribe in the future tense? Let's change that, buddy. Okay? Click it. Right now. You know what? Click the bell. Click it. Click.
But let's be honest, it's not been smooth. Between just rough patches, terrible changes in audio, and let's just not even begin. The rampant cheating problem in Tarkov is astronomical.
Well then, it's hacking time.
Mainly because a lot of cheaters in Tarkov, like I would say if out of 100%, I'd say 30% of them aren't cheating to win in PvP. They're cheating to make it so the game isn't as hard. I'm talking like being able to see loot and stuff like that, adding a radar to their screen. It's things that players who just need that little extra hand-holding to enjoy the game they come home and play every day. That's just, they rely on cheats for it, which sucks. I mean, it doesn't affect the integrity, but it shows that there is a desire for a more casual player base in this hardcore shooter. I'm talking like I want to emphasize this. If for some reason you're watching this and have not played Tarkov, it is an experience. Like, you hear everyone say it's hardcore, but you don't understand. It is hardcore. Like, you can go to 0. You could lose to not have, like...
I've lost everything!
There is a point where you just won't have anything. Like, no money, no weapons, nothing. And it's that people can reach that. There's actually a bunch of YouTube series of people doing that intentionally. Just going down to 0 and climbing back up. So content-wise, Tarkov will always be a goldmine. But does it... I genuinely believe that once we get closer, Because I know there's plans, I believe, last I knew a couple years ago, there was plans for there to be an evergreen server where you make a character on there. It won't wipe. It would just keep grinding that one, and they'll have the seasonal wipes, you know, for people who want to do the grind every now and then. When that happens, I feel like for it to last, it has to have some changes for the casual gamer. I would consider myself a casual gamer when it comes to Tarkov. I only hit level 15 like for the first time last wipe. But I still put like 10, 15 hours in every wipe, which is nothing compared to these guys who genuinely play and enjoy Tarkov. I'm not going to try to act like I'm one of those guys. I'm more from the perspective of the casual, put a few hours in every wipe, get my fix, and then get out. I wish it wasn't like that, but how do you fix that? How do you make something so hardcore more casual? Well, I think Dark and Darker actually did this quite well, where you can't really hit zero. You can hit zero money, but you always will have the necessities. You always have clothing, you have your weapon, which is like a staff or a bow or whatever in Dark and Darker. I think Tarkov, it's such a simple, weird little fix, but I think if Tarkov had it so when your PMC died, if you spawned with even just like a TT pistol, it changes everything. I know it sounds weird. I know it sounds weird, and you're probably gonna laugh in the comments that it sounds stupid, but I don't think so. I don't agree. I don't think so. I think it sounds fine. Something like that where you can hit rock bottom economically, but still be able to play the game, I think will go a long way getting that more casual player base. Another thing, it looks like they are trying to teeter towards newer players of Ground Zero. I don't like the Ground Zero map. I thought the Ground Zero experience was not good. I think that's just because the game's been out forever and they're adding a new player experience. It's just not... People know how to play the game, so they're going to pick on the newbies, which kind of sucks. But that's just how games work. I mean, remember, like, what was it, Christmas noobs we used to say back in Call of Duty? But yeah, I honestly think the most simple change to Tarkov could be just doing Dark and Darker, where when you die, you spawn back with it's just a most basic inventory. Like, maybe it is just a TT pistol, or maybe it is just... Oh, wow, that was loud. What? I did that. But yeah, just a basic pistol or something, because it has to have a casual player base, or even like not even just casual, like have a solo only map. I think that will go really well. Like turn factory solo only, turn ground zero solo only. It's just this hardcore game is doing well. Like I'm not gonna sit here and act like it's not doing well. This game is giant, and I'm just an ant crawling on the mound complaining that the solo experience is game too hard. I don't know. I'm just fucking rambling at this point. Let me know in the comments. What do you think? Does Tarkov need a more casual change? Does it need to cater to the 9-to-5 gamer? Does it need to cater to someone who can only play solo to survive? Well, first they need to get these cheaters things. Okay, I'm going to stop rambling. I will see you guys next time.